We are working on the internet. We are going to do our very best. And the truth is, you guys that join us live, we love you guys. And the person was trying to get someone else to say the word puff. And they go, blank the magic dragon. And the other person was like, ride this.
Yeah, if you don't know Puff, you're out.
You don't know Puff the Magic Dragon, you're out of here. I might have failed the citizenship test because I've never watched.
That there is no problem too large for government to solve.
Capitalism in that show.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, seconds. Anyways, Mandami won, and just so you know, we are going to see the opposite of the Reagan Revolution.
Right.
All right, they're in. They're coming for the wetland in your backyard.
Oh boy.
There's no issue too big for us to solve.
Buckle up, economics.
Yeah, so one of our...
Is that real?
They shut down 5 square miles, stay in place, shelter in place order. Totally real. You've got all kinds of footage of this thing, right? Like, totally wild. Here's the plane. It shortly after takeoff, and absolutely wild. Look at that. Crazy.
Jeez. That's like a
plane crash. Looks right as it's coming down.
Mm-hmm.
I just want the surveillance footage outside of the Pentagon on 9/11. Yes, I know it's very slow and boring. But
yeah. Zip boom.
So I brought that up because of a concept that I want people to understand. It's this concept of blowback, boomerang. Blowback is the karma. Blowback is getting the event or impact. They attacked us for no reason. What did we ever do to them? Well, then you start learning a little bit. It's like, oh, well, maybe we did do a little this and a little that. And maybe we did overthrow their government a little while ago and created a whole lot of problems. And you know what I mean? You start going back. It's like, oh, well, maybe. Either way, blowback's a real thing. How do you stop blowback?
Well, you don't do the thing in the first place.
Don't do the things in the first place. The other thing you do is radical transparency. Fix the problem so you can be kind of like, hey, listen, yeah, we had a problem. I admit it. It was a problem. I repent. I'm sorry. Let's move on. Right. Mm-hmm. This is the Civil War. Yep. Slavery's bad. Okay. We're done with it. Okay. Now we're going to go over and we're going to reinforce the no slavery thing. Right. Washington. Their argument and territory in the sand to all of a sudden we show up kicking in your door. Why? Because dad went to a jihad meeting. He thought it was a revival gospel meeting. Turns out at that meeting in the back room after dad was there, they were plotting to do something nefarious. And so now dad is getting rounded up. Okay. Now that did happen. Just like with January 6th, we got rounded up, right? Why? Because the horned guy made them look stupid. So they came after everyone, right? That's the whole, what's the blowback now? What's the blowback? So I became aware of blowback. Blowback happens all over the place. It can happen in the business sector, right? If a business does its customers really bad, and then people need to realize, and I say people, specifically people who consented to this, that allowed this to happen, right? One of the things you have, so that just everybody thinks that. Well, when you actually step back and look at something like, for example, the war in the Middle East, it's like, well, America, you went into the Middle East and you killed 1 million people. Well, yeah, but they brought down our towers. Oh, no, that actually was a whole separate small group of people that blowback. You're going to get blowback. A guy put a bill into $33,000. Not with a lawyer, not with a hospital admin insider, with a $20 a month Claude subscription plus subscription.
You got to get the plus.
He uploaded the itemized bill. Claude spotted duplicate procedure codes, illegal double billing, and charges that Medicare rules explicitly forbid. Then it helped him write a letter citing every violation. The hospital dropped their demand by 83%. This isn't just a feel-good story. It's a preview of what AI will really do next. Flatten systems built on opacity. Hospitals, and he looked into it. Right. They win because you don't have access to the same data, code books, or language. Claude gave one person the same leverage as a compliance department. That's a revolution. We thought AI would replace jobs. Turns out it's replacing excuses. That is how you go to the Luigi back to this. All the people on the dole that have marked up prices and, you know, all along the way are going to be exposed by things like AI. It's going to level the, wow. What kind of blowback is that going to create?
That's really incredible.
It's creating blowback right now as we speak. Mandami was just elected mayor of New York. How is that possible? Well, you got some 9/11 blowback going on there for sure. and some self-loathing by certain Democrats who opposed the war the whole time. And now that anti-war sentiment has gone to the point of being sympathetic. Right? Since I graduated high school in 2000, let's vote for healthcare that sucks. It's a mess.
Mm-hmm.
That's a complete and total mess. I have no trust in the banking system. They debanked me, bro. I got debanked. Oh, hey, how's your 401k doing? I don't know. I don't care. Who cares? As far as I'm concerned, that's a whiff in the wind for you. Okay. Justice. Oh, yeah, we want bad guys to go to prison, and they always get the bad guys. Do they? Do they? Have you spent any time with some of the bad guys? Do you really? Are they actually bad? Now, I am not
looking for that, or maybe it was on Rogan. He's like, the new AI, and coupled with this story of the blowback, I'm wondering, is AI eventually going to?
Isn't that the whole story? Evil. I will take and use it for my good purpose. Brothers of Joseph, you thought you were, getting rid of Joseph by throwing him in the pit, and all along the way was labeling as evil.
Right.
And I turned it into the greatest blessing ever. Right.
That's what I'm kind of wondering. What
exposed absolutely for
and they're fighting and they're fighting.
You know what I mean? Oh, so now you know what I mean? Oh, so now you know what I'm saying? Like, so are you taxing the dollar bill? You know what I'm saying? Like, so are you taxing the dollar bill or are you taxing the man? That's the question. And what doing company dollar? I'll trade in beans. Oh, see Chris Mandami talking about violence.
Oftentimes, we've even found as legislators, when we go into these courts, the term violent crime is even used when people are stealing packages. Violent crime is even
the criminal crime committed in a housing area at some point along the line was defined by the city council as violence. A burglary at a retail store where there's allegedly violence. And in the act of redefining violence, you become the very thing you hate. And now you're going to have things that are extremely violent that will get labeled nonviolent. Okay. This is day one. Creating blowback. This is day one.
Violence is an artificial constraint.
Cycle after election cycle after election cycle. Eventually, sycophants and people who simply will use the problem to gain power will take control. Today, you've got the intersection of religion, Islam, the intersection of ideology, Marxism, communism, socialism, and collectivism in general, in an environment that is rife with all sorts of corruption, all sorts of, failing problems, all sorts of lying, propaganda, and on and on and on you go. You can't have a criminal justice system that labels nonviolent things as violent. You can't have a criminal justice system that labels nonviolent things as violent, locks up people that are nonviolent offenders, and then labels things that are violent as unviolent, and then have a cashless bail system for it, right? You're creating blowback that's
or the blowback becomes
that's not off the table. You think Biden was the first one with the neutral previous administrations.
Ugh.
Right?
Every week. Damn.
Every week. Now, we are also suffering from a fake news. Problem, right? Donald Trump put out truth post saying hey, there's polls that have narrative. Part of this election,
new CNN poll shows that Donald Trump's disapproval rating. New CNN poll shows that Donald Trump's disapproval rating.
2021.
New CNN poll. It's actually
2021.
New CNN poll. It's actually higher. His disapproval. New CNN poll. It's actually higher. His disapproval rating is higher than it was approved of Trump. Today, the number of Americans who say rating is higher than it was approved of Trump. Today, the number of Americans who say they disapprove of Donald Trump is not 60. They disapprove of Donald Trump is not 62%. It is 63%. 63% disapprove. Only 37% approve of Trump. That means right now he is 26 points underapprove of Trump. That means right now he is 26 points underwater. 26 points underwater in terms of his approval rating with the American people. That's astonishing. Let's start with the new CNN poll.
It sounds astonishing for here.
Story in town. It turns out American President Donald.
Okay. So
the second part of the BBC's version.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol
So that is how you manufacture a situation where you get into California, for example, and last night they passed Prop 50. Prop 50 is going to allow them to do all kinds of redistricting. And a lot of people were like, well, why did they do this? I don't, this isn't good for them, because when they poll Californians, it's like 80% of Californians want them to have the bipartisan commission that has to approve redistricting. But Proposition is now going to get rid of that, which means now the supermajority legislature is going to do the redistricting. So goodbye Republican representation in California. Okay, so then they're like, well, hold on. Holmes did some exit polling to find
82% of the case, 8 out of 10 voters say it was to counter the GOP changes, not because they saw it was the best way to draw those districts. A couple other things we're taking away from what voters said, though. Said they'd like to see this done by a nonpartisan commission, not the party in power. Well, that was preempted with the outcome of this vote.
blowback. It's going to be a big deal. Nah. No way. You see, again, you do it, I'm going to do it. You're going to have people see me vote for, you want to, one of the other challenges with who by all report by any means. She gets paid to read the teleprompter. We're going to have
I remember something that George Will said. Every 20 years or so, people need a controlled experiment.
Yeah. We do love this place, but we'll see. It's just cyclical. Yep. Is it really? See, one of the things the Republicans in this election cycle taught them, and turned who Trump endorsed, running for attorney general, lost his race by 1 point. He outperformed the other Republican at the top of the ticket by 10 points with Trump's endorsement. It should be a screaming message to Republicans. You don't have a base. You don't have a base. I just watched our local GOP implode over this Charlie Kirk assassination, right? Imploded. I watched people resign and walk off. Why? Because they're tired of fighting for a party that doesn't fight for them. Revamped. This is Richard Barris, the People's pollster, and he's talking about this exact thing. The Republican Party is dead.
So far this evening.
And I'm listening to you and John talk, and I'm thinking back to election 2024. We knew it was over before anyone called it was over. We were sitting there. We were talking about the coalition. And I said then, and we all discussed it, the number one job for convince the voter that they're just going to go back to business as usual. And we're going to make Donald Trump's administration and his agenda more like the Republican Party. The Republican Party is filled with losers. They were dead until Donald Trump came along and resurrected them like Lazarus. These voters was designed to make their lives better.
The House delegates is going to be what?
It'll be a super.
The House delegates is going to be what?
It'll be a super majority if this keeps up. Bobby Orrick's about to lose in HD 66, which is unbelievable.
Focus is on them as opposed to the interests of the billionaires.
Okay.
You getting excited, Taylor?
Well, I'm getting nervous because, again, there's a cross section here. Now, the Hassan Piker, not a Muslim, okay, not a religionist. In fact, I bet if you talk with him, he'll tell you he's standing. So I understand base programming. This was this last. When was this? This was December 27, 2024. So this is last year at the Friday sermon. So this is just any old Friday sermon.
Special, our Americanism is to prove that we are loyal to thousands of people. And then thousands of people. And then you're betraying, you're worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So they opened up these countries not to occupy them. Because as we know in Islamic history, Muslims did not rule in the sense of like the empire. Muslims did not rule in the sense of like the empire, like Western colonial powers. They opened them to create Dami
with this guy as part of his coalition. Hassan Piker, who just hates America for the sake of hating America, right? Because it's the empire. But these guys in zealotry for our religion, lots of clapping. Sound never comes through when it's clapping.
I'm so glad I can't hear it.
Landlords to account because the Donald Trumps of our city have grown far too comfortable taking advantage of their tenants. We will put an end to the culture of corruption.
I gotta say, I helped a lady in the New York courts, like $4,000 a month or $5,000 a month for just a 200, 300 square foot office space. Okay, during COVID, she got locked out of her building, couldn't use it. Rent still collected. Eventually, she had to stop paying rent. Eventually, her whole business model changed. It ran on Zoom and conference calls, and she didn't need an office anymore. And guess what? So she had to stop paying the lease. Oh, hey, she had a 2-year lease. They slapped her with a $250,000 lawsuit after they'd locked her out of the building and said, you can't do it for COVID. The contract says acts of God. That's an act of God to enforce the law. Not only did she get he's not wrong. New York, I think her experience was
It has allowed billionaires like Trump. And as of tonight.
So when he says that, it's like,
So hear me.
so he won an election, and instead of talking about a jury with no adversarial power and tie you up in the courts for who knows how long, and if you are familiar with the Supreme Court decision in 2014, changed, referring to the Speaker of the Virginia, talk about hurting people or wishing death on them, are evil, and they're breeding little fascists? Yes. We're going to prevent the next Donald Trump in We're going to prevent the next Donald Trump in Virginia.
Okay.
This is a problem. This is a problem. Small problem. Okay. This is a problem. Small problem. Okay. So what's Van small problem. Okay. So what's Van Jones was Jones made it so many. I actually don't think this. If he's starting to think maybe a little buyer's remorse.
I think that's an opportunity. I think the Mamdani that we saw on the campaign trail, who was a lot more calm, who was a lot warmer, who was a lot very young,
is the only thing that prevents Mamdani from potentially, and again, this is like the most salacious thing I could possibly say, becoming the very thing I hate. They accuse Trump of being Hitler. Well,
I thought was, is there any way that, what's the guy's name? Jones? Is there any way that he didn't know this was going to happen? I mean, come on. You knew this was.
If they don't believe in freedom, right? They don't believe in entrepreneurship. Ayn Rand wrote thousands of pages describing the second-handers, the looters. These are the people that can't invent fire, but they want to use it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing. They can't make wealth, but we shivers. Mao believed, I don't know if Mao believed, like there are people who are true believers. This was on,
I know, but when this
believe in communism.
Oh my gosh.
No,
you just can't.
You can't. Cubans hate communism because they've lived it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that was bloated.
So yes. So this is what until you can address that problem, don't tell me communism doesn't work, because neither does capitalism.
So I will divulge this. So we had recently a trip to the hospital.
Life not even market marginally different. Oh, you live market marginally different. Oh, you live in a, because I remember getting into prison, and on day one, they're like, if you're having thoughts of self-harm or depression, it's mental illness, and we can give you medication. Guy who's at the beginning of a 7-year stay, if he's a little depressed. F you a guy who's at the beginning of a 7-year stay, if he's a little depressed. F you a fix him.
Yeah.
Housing affordability. You guys have been running on that since the Great Society by Johnson. You know what I mean? At some point, we're just going to say scrap it and fix. That was the conservative evangelical Christians world. Trump was just do whatever, just break whatever you got to get, just restore some common sense, and here on the left, it's the same thing. Bernie, do whatever you've got. Listen, you can't be worse than the current pharmaceutical companies. You couldn't be worse than this, right? Even if that's the problem. What the clearly some parties.
I bet you right now,
right? Because you might do something about it. Right? They didn't view Ukraine as a good actor in this. Ukraine is corrupt as all possible to get out. You cannot, it's very difficult not to take Russia's side in this conflict. Okay. Now, I'm not justifying anything. I'm just saying, when you lay it out, I'm not necessarily saying how like the night with his dick. So, but somehow he turned that into an $89 billion land purchase in America. I don't know where the money came from. I don't know. I mean, don't tell me capitalism's great. Do I believe in capitalism?
51%. 51%. The speaker the Speaker of the House in Virginia to be murdered and Republican children of the House in Virginia to be murdered and Republican children to be murdered. Let that sink in about just how dark of a landscape that paints.
That happened.
What?
Right? I mean, you can go, well, that didn't really happen. No, that happened. That happened.
What?
Right? I mean, you can go, well, that didn't really happen. No, that happened. I just read you the text messages. He doubled, tripled down. Just read you the text messages. He doubled, tripled down, even when he was.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. It's kind of like our superintendent of public education who says racism is baked into the Constitution. Yeah.
The revolution.
Yeah.
The revolution.
By the way, back anywhere. It was the disbelief. No, he won't. No, he won't.
No, he will not.
No, he won't. You can read in their book, they say, pledge here, go run for politics, take it over, apply Sharia.
Right. And the Democrats' reaction to the assassination, that really turns people off. But then where were they in this turnout? The revolution is complete.
Where were they? I thought the revolution was going to be podcasted. Apparently it's going different ways. All right, we're about to jump over into private. We got to rack up some private hours. May as well. Hey, how's the comments going? Have we been streaming decently, or has it been like rough cut here? Just curious.
Shoot, I don't mean.
Yeah, where are the comments? Play God bless Peasants. Oh, so our other cat videos. Other than cat. Yeah, we have great. All right, last video before we jump into the private. This is democracy for you.
Because democracy basically means government by the people, but the people are retarded.
Oh, that's the best.
All right, we're jumping over into the private. We got more. We've got John Solomon assessing what the DOP and John Solomon, its base, United States, big deal. They're down 30%, stunning. And we're going to hear a little bit from Ron DeSantis, and we're going to talk about gold and some money stuff. So